Yes, for one last time for myself, welcome along to the Racing Postcast, brought to you by the Racing Post, sponsored by Unibet on a big weekend of racing. QEII British Champions Day from Ascot. 6 races. We've got 4 Group 1s, a Group 2 and a competitive Balmoral Handicap. And this time last year we had an excellent show, plenty of winners along with almost like a joint winning nap with Big Rock winning the QE2 for us. But it's Graeme Rodway and Tom Park from the Racing Post. But this year we have the addition of Ed Nicholson from Unibet, who's fresh off the jumps from last week at Chepstow. Ed, how are you?
Oh, I wouldn't say I'm fresh off because I'm feeling a bit ill actually. But it was a fantastic meeting last week at Chepstow. 2 days. It was just great to see jumps action back. Paul Nicholls, Harry Cobden, all the faces were there, and it really was a good meeting. But we're back to the flat, and what a meeting it is too. I mean, it's a fantastic day. Having gone through all the form, there's so many horses that we know and love. It'd be interesting to see what the take of the lads are, because there's plenty of good horses on display, that's for sure.
Absolutely, they're top class horses. And speaking of the jumps, Tom Park, the big jump off soon to be coming out to our Racing Post audience. Tell us a bit about when that'll be and what's included.
Yeah, we're out on Monday. It'll be free in your Racing Post. It's coming along nicely. We've got some of jump racing's biggest names. Nico de Boinville, Paul Nicholls, Harry Cobden. There's a brilliant interview with Harry Cobden, actually. Your usual faces such as Patrick Mullins and Johnny Deneen and Tom Siegel and Mr. Rodway and Paul Keeley and everyone. It's packed full of insight and tips and everything you want to get you excited for the jump season, which we, as Ed's quite pointed out, we've got a fantastic flat meeting to look forward to this weekend. So we're not quite there yet, but it was so much fun to see the jumps back, and putting this together, it really does ramp up the excitement when you start reading about all of the old stars from last season. It's amazing when you're working in the industry just how quickly you forget when you get engulfed in the flat season, and then it's quite quickly turns around back to the jumps. And just seeing all the old horses back, it's going to be great fun. We're in for a really exciting season, I think. The Gold Cup in particular looks an absolute belter.
Absolutely, yeah. On Monday's Racing Post, you can catch that free inside your Racing Post on Monday. Do look out for that. Really excellent. The Racing Post team have worked proper hard on that. So, yeah, do have a good read. And let us know in the comments your feedback on the big jump off. Go on, Ed.
Sam, we're going to Nicky Henderson's on Monday for our preview as well. So we'll try to edit some stuff and put it in next week's podcast, maybe. That's the great day. That takes about 6 hours because Nicky never stops talking. And we talk about all his horses. It's a really good day, but it's pretty hard work. So, yeah, we'll maybe have some of our own for next week as well. We'll edit a few and put them into the podcast.
Absolutely. Look forward to hearing Nicky Henderson's thoughts ahead of the jump season as well. So you may see some details on that in next week's show. And I won't be on next week's show. I'm leaving the Racing Post in a couple of weeks. Graeme Rodway. This will be my last time hosting the show. I'll be producing for a couple of weeks, but last time hosting the show. But this time last year, we had a brilliant show. Like I say, we all joint napped up Big Rock in some ways, and we found plenty of winners. Hopefully the same again.
Yeah, what better way to bow out, Sam, than on this day? The most famous day for you in the whole of the episodes that you've ever done. Massive on Big Rock. Big Rock. And he went and did it, didn't he? I think you were cheering about 4 furlongs out, weren't you? He'd gone so far clear and he'd won it. So let's hope that we can repeat all those great winners from last year for your final show here, Sam.
Absolutely. I'll say all my thank yous at the end. But look, it's a big weekend for the French and the European raiders, isn't it? We'll get into plenty of them during the show, but they often like this soft ground that often appears in the middle of October on Champions Day. We'll talk about them, like I say, when the races come up. But we'll get straight into the previews then, gents, and we'll start off with the opening race, which is the 120, which is the QEII British Champions Long Distance Cup. This is the Group 2 on the card, just shy of 2 miles. And Unibet currently have Kyprios as the 4-5 favourite, Trawlerman 7-2, Al Nair is 11-2, Sweet William is 13-2, Bellocchio 25-1, the Youth 80 is 25-1, and 33-1 about the rest of them. I looked at this race and thought, will Kyprios turn up? It turns out that he is going to be turning up. There were yes and no's whether we all thought he would be here, but he is here. He is the best stayer in training, potentially one of the best stayers that's ever been in training. Does he get beaten, Tom Park?
I wouldn't be in a rush to back him. He's had an awful lot of racing this season. He's brilliant. Like, he's a brilliant horse. Probably as good a stayer as I've seen in my racing lifetime. He is coming. It's not long since Longchamp where he was again pretty good. So there's no obvious reason to oppose him other than he's had a pretty hard season. I just think it might be worth taking a chance on one each way. Plenty of short ones get beaten in this race year on year. I think Kyprios was beaten in this last year. I'll take a chance on Sweet William, who ran a pretty good race behind Kyprios at Goodwood, and won really well at Doncaster last time, beating Trushan. The way Trushan's been running since, I know he was well beaten by Kyprios at Longchamp again, but he's kind of frank in that form. And yeah, if Kyprios is on a little bit of an off day, Sweet William's more than capable of picking up the pieces. And yeah, I think I struggle to see him out of the first three, to be honest. Just the kind of style and the consistency that he runs with. But yeah, I wouldn't be it's not a massive betting race for me, but I'll probably be taking an each way chance on Sweet William.
Yeah, we have an each way punts in this race, and Sweet William, a decent each way play at 13-2 there. Graeme Rodway, Kyprios, he's faced some opposition this year and he's got through it all and ground it out. He's got to the stage now where he's more grinding out than being overly flashy in his races. But is this the best field in some ways that you might have taken on this season, with Al Nair being a bit unexposed against these top guns and Trawlerman, who won this race last year?
Yeah, it's a strong race, isn't it, Sam? No doubt about it that Kyprios is a star attraction in it, and he's one of the star attractions on the day, isn't he? He's an absolute superstar, and you never quite know what he's got left in the tank. I always think with him, he always looks like he's just doing what is needed, and I think he's won 8 Group 1 races, and we might not still yet have seen the best of him. However, I do think that the price discrepancy between himself and Trawlerman is a bit too big. There's not that much between him and Trawlerman. They're very closely matched. They've raced twice. The score's 1-1. Trawlerman beat him in this race last season. Gave him a real good race in the Ascot Gold Cup. Was bang there with half a furlong to go. Could have gone either way. And then Kyprios just outstayed him inside the final half furlong over, 2.5 miles. This is back to 2 miles. I think that will suit Trawlerman. I don't think there's anywhere near as much as the prices suggest between Kyprios and Trawlerman. So I would definitely be backing Trawlerman at the odds that Ed's given us there, 7-2. I can see him going off quite a bit shorter than that on the day. I think it's a match between the two. I think they're the two outstanding stayers in Britain right now, and Trawlerman's probably the most underrated stayer in training right now. So Trawlerman for me.
Trawlerman, yeah, last year's winner. It was an interesting race last year, wasn't it? Because Kyprios came around the outside, took the race up, and then Frankie was in control that day and battled back to win the race. It's this soft ground, I suppose. The Ascot Gold Cup, we've got completely different ground when these two last met in June, Ed. What did you make of this race, and are you keen to take on the favourite?
I agree with a lot of what Graeme said. I do think it's a 2-horse race. I do think there's a big discrepancy between the two if you look at form and how much he's been beaten and the kind of ratings of the horses. But I'm not going to have a bet myself in the race because I just don't want to oppose Kyprios. But I think the bet, if you're having it on price, would be Trawlerman. But I mean, Kyprios, what a horse. 14 out of 18 wins. He's won on good to firm to heavy. He's won over shorter distances, longer distances than Saturday. He won 6 out of 6 this year, repeating the 6 out of 6 he won 2 years ago. I mean, that's incredible for a stayer to do that for a start. He came back as well, having had a truncated season last year when he's only second twice. I want Kyprios to win, but I won't be backing him. So 4 to 5, even money, that's probably too short for me to get involved in. But I'd love to see Kyprios win it and kick off the day with a true champion winning on what is a day that we're celebrating champions.
Absolutely, yeah. For race guys, it's just brilliant that Kyprios is turning up, and you want to see these stars in the division turn up in these races. And looking forward to see Kyprios run in the 120. Onto the 155 then, gents, the Kipco British Champion Sprint Stakes. This is the first Group 1 over 6 furlongs. If there's ever a race on the card that could throw up a big price winner, it often is this. Kinross tops the market at 4-1. Montasib is 5-1. Millstream and Kind of Blue 8-1. Unequal Loves 9-1. Audience 10-1. Swing Along 11s 12-1, and Bigger the rest. There's plenty of each way plays certainly in this race. You've got a fairly open field. Kinross was only just second in this last year to Art Power. They do reoppose each other once again, but Kinross has come off the back of that foray run where, look, was beaten by a bit of a rocket, it seems, in Ramatuel, who heads up to the Breeders' Cup Mile. A lot of people, though, fancying Montasib, Ed Nicholson. Did you like one at the top of the market, or is it one where you could see a big price playing into this?
Well, it does. I mean, there are a lot of big price winners of this if you go over the years, because of the fact that it's soft ground, it's the end of the season, lots of runners. I mean, 20 declared. It's more like a handicap, isn't it? Although it's obviously a top quality Grade 1 race. So the first thing to note is that we are going extra place, but we're also offering money back second or third if you rather. So money back second or third, or the extra place here. And it's 5-1, 11-2 the field here with Kinross. And I've been anti Kinross all season. I've just been looking at his performance ratings, and they've all been in 102, 105, which is way off Kinross's best. And then bam, came back to form at Doncaster, performance rating of 117 in their Group 2 race there, the Park Stakes, and then backed it up at Longchamp. He hasn't won over 6 furlongs since he won this race 2 years ago, but as you rightly said, he did come second 12 months ago. So the track suits him, the ground conditions, the time of the year is obviously key. And I think he's the best horse in the race. In fact, on the ratings, I think there's only one horse higher rated than him as well. So although I've been against Kinross all season, I'm actually going to back him this time. I think everything's in his favour. Many people, including the panellists, would probably think maybe 5-1, 11-2, a little bit too short when there's lots of horses in with a chance. But I just think this is his race. And Rafe Beckett, what form he's in. I mean, I just had a quick look before we came on. The last 8 horses he's trained, 4 have won. The last 61, 16 have won in 14 days. You couldn't get a trainer in better form. And Ross O'Ryan is riding at the top of his game, having won the Arc a couple of weeks ago. So, yeah, I'm going to be on Kinross. I'm probably backing him at the wrong time because I always oppose him when he wins and back him when he loses. But, yeah, I'm on Kinross.
Okay, Kinross, Fred Nicholson. Then Graeme Rodway, you often need in this champion sprint race, you often need a horse that can get 7 furlongs. I always seem to find that Kinross is obviously one of those. Audience is definitely fascinating. I know the ground might be against Audience, but dropping back to the 6 furlongs. And Bavatier, the French raider, with the first of the French in here, is we've talked about it all year that the English sprinters aren't necessarily that great, and a lot of people have been saying the Aussies and the horse out in Hong Kong are a lot better than what we've got in the sprint divisions, but Bavatier dropping back as well is absolutely fascinating. He was actually third in that Prix de Forêt at Longchamp on Sunday. So I don't know what you make of this, but 7 furlong specialists are the ones that I often like in this 6 furlong contest.
Yeah, you can make a case for a few of them, can't you? Certainly, Audience. If the ground isn't too bad, now that is going to be the question, isn't it? I know they've moved the round courses to the inner course, haven't they? And I always think that the ground's never really that bad on the straight track. I know that last year, Big Rock, obviously, it was like the Somme that day, wasn't it? But I don't know. I'm not totally convinced it'll be really, really testing on the straight track anyway there. And obviously with the inner course being used, it might not be as soft as many people think. We'll see. I do like also he's a strong stayer at the trip. Got not a 7 furlong horse, mind. It's Unequal Love, who won the Wokingham over the course and distance in the summer, and has just not looked quick enough to win on the last 2 starts. Was third after suffering interference at the start at York in a Group 3 there in the Summer Stakes. Absolutely blasted home for third, and then again last time in the Sprint Cup behind Montasib, been doing all of its best work near the line. I mean, it's a really stiff 6 furlongs at Ascot, and that's going to absolutely suit Unequal Love perfectly, just like it did in the Wokingham. And I wouldn't look any further. Quite confident on that one.
Okay, yeah, it could be the first string, could be the second string of William Haggis, but Monsib's obviously higher up in the market for William Haggis with Kieran Fallonable, but Graeme Rodway likes Unequal Love, course and distance winner for William Haggis and Tom Marquand. Where did you go, Tom Park?
This is a really interesting race. I remember watching the Sprint Cup and putting Flora Bermuda down as like a real eye catcher. Like she finished like a train after getting no run at the wrong time in that. The more I've looked at the Sprint Cup though, the they went a suicidal pace. And although the second, it ran a remarkable race to kind of be up there with the lead and hold on, and it just got pipped on the line. The majority of the field were coming from the back. And Elite Status was one who I just thought is worth another chance. Now, he was right up with the pace, but he managed to put 2 or 3 lengths in between them at the furlong pole. None of the others were able to kick off that pace. And I just wonder if they kind of hold on to him a little bit longer. He might just be the one that he's looking a big old price at around 20-1. Clifford Lee will have had the pick of the Carl Burke horses and has opted for elite status over Swing Along, which might be a clue in itself. He went off 11-2 for the Sprint Cup, so they clearly think a lot of him. He's 20-1 here, and as I said, he looked at the furlong pole when we didn't realise they were going so quick. He probably would have been a lot of people's most likely winner. And I just, when the pace is that hot, like none of them bar the second who didn't kick. He was just able to maintain the gallop. I think Elite Status is worth another go here. And Carl Burke is in superb form. 20-1 looks a big price for a horse who the yard clearly think plenty of. And as I said, Clifford Lee has jumped off Swing Along, which he wouldn't have taken too lightly. So yeah, I'm going to give Elite Status a chance at 20-1.
Yeah, you're going to get those extra places with Unibet as well. 4 places. Remember, money back is second or third. That'll be from Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Head to unibet.co.uk for all the conditions there. Let's go on then, gents, to a race that's baffled me all week. It's the 2:35, which is the Kipco British Champions Fillies and Mare Stakes. Another Group 1, just shy of 1.5 miles. Kalpana's topping the market at 15-8. Tiffany, 13-2. Content, 7-1. Time Lock is 15-2. Grateful, 9-1. Quintana Mira, the German Raiders, 10-1. 12-1 and bigger the rest. I suppose I should come to you first, Ed Nicholson, because Kalpana was the winner of the Unibet September Stakes last time out. Very impressive, which shortened from about, I want to say it was around 7-8-1 prior to the race of this race, but shortened into around 5-2-2-1 for this contest. It stayed at that price. William Buick taking the ride this time around. I think Murphy was possibly hoping to get this ride, but he's obviously riding for Qatar on Queen of the Pride. But William Buick takes the ride. 15-8. Does it tickle your fancy?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Kalpana, although I am worried that she's got no form in kind of softish conditions, which always concerns me. And I have noted there has been a few notes on various bits of form pieces that, that would be a worry. But she's improving at a fair rate of knots. And if there's one thing I've learned over the many years of having a bet on horses in the autumn, is you've got to be back in an improving filly at this time of year. And Kalpana has improved so much over the last, 4, 6, 8 weeks. She's already probably good enough to be at least placed here on rating. I think she's 113. There's only one other horse I think that's higher than her. And I thought she still ran green. I mean, that sounds ridiculous, but I still thought she ran green in September Stakes because she didn't have to do anything. And then she quickened from the front and won in really good style. I actually spoke to the guys from the stable afterwards. And just said, well done. I said, but wow, I never thought she'd be favourite for this race. And they all said that she is improving at a rate of knots at home. And the one thing they were talking about this race, because you remember they had 2 or 3 that could run in this race, 2 horses that were actually rated higher than Kalpana. And they said this was going to be the aim. And the one thing that they said that they love about this filly is she's so laid back. She's got a great temperament, which helps her in her races. And I just remember taking a mental note of that. I think she could be a real superstar. The form with all the races this year have actually proved really well. When she got beaten by Friendly Soul at the beginning of the year, I mean, those two finished well clear of the third, and Friendly Soul has gone on, the proper Friendly Soul has gone on to be a very good horse at the back end. So I think Kalpana's got all the form. I still think she's improving. I think she'll be a better 4-year-old. The only worry is the ground. I can see Content being backed. Because Content's got the form, got the ground conditions, and is Ryan Moore, Aidan O'Brien. And I noticed it was 10-1 earlier on, and it's been backed into 8s and 7s. So yeah, Content would be the one that I'd be worried about. If I was looking from a price point of view, that would be the one. But Kalpana, I just love the way she did it in the Unibet September Stakes.
Okay, Kalpana, Fred, Nicholson then. It's interesting, Judgment have the 2 horses in here, Kalpana and Time Lock. I mean, we were talking at the start of the show about having the champion in each division. The one horse we are missing is obviously the Arc winner in the Judgment colours, which would be Blue Stocking for a little bit, but, you know, she's going to be saved away hopefully for next year. So we'll just wait and see there. Tom Park, were you with the favourite or against?
I love Kalpana. She's been. We've had a bit of a roller coaster this year because we've been beaten. We've won some nice races. She always seems to get well backed. I thought she was short here. It looks a pretty good race. This. I agree with what Ed said. I think Content is one that will surely shorten, given that she's the Yorkshire Oaks winner. I would happily forgive her run last time. I'd probably side with Kalpana. She will be an anti-post bet for me for the Art next year. I think she is very, very good.
Yeah.
But I am going to take a chance on a big price one here, and that is Doha. Impeccable breeding, as many of you will know. See the Stars, out of Trev. Has been doing the majority of her running over a mile and a couple of times over a mile too, but she's bred to get this kind of trip. And if you go through her form this year, she's not without a chance here. She's very, very talented on a day. She won the handicap here at Royal Ascot in June. So she's got form on the track. But she was pretty good when stepping up to mile 2 last time. And I just think she's going to really like the conditions. Everything suggests in her breeding that she's going to really enjoy being stepped up to this trip for the first time. I think she's been a little bit headstrong early on in her career, which has kind of forced them to keep her back at a mile. But she's starting to settle a lot better. And if you look through her form, like the 5th in the Nassau Glorious Goodwood over mile 2, that was a real like muddling race, and I would be quite happily to begin. But she's only beaten just over 4 lengths. She's then ran behind Tamfana over a mile, and as I said, like she was pretty good at Saint-Cloud last time, and yeah, just that breeding makes me think there's potential. Like there's still potential in her. And I thought a 33-1, I think you can get, was a big price, and definitely one that I'm happy to take an each way chance on. Albeit I do think Kalpana will take a lot of beating. But yeah, Doha for me at a big price.
Okay, Doha, big price, 33-1, and you will get these big price horses running into the frame on Saturday. Often the case with the ground the way it can be. Graeme Rodway, interesting to see. I don't actually know much about this European raider, but Quantanamera was an anti-post tip by price-wise. Tom Siegel, I think around 33-1 for this race here. Stefan Pasquier takes the ride. I suppose that's the interesting one when the ground gets soft, the German raider.
Yeah, love a German horse, don't I? When the ground goes soft, they almost always handle it. I've got no idea whether this horse is good enough to win, but you know she's got an RPI of 116 for her last win. You know, and that's pretty much the highest last time out figure in the race. So she's not a million miles away on form anyway, according to our handicappers. I fancy Tiffany. I thought she looked like a Group 1 horse when she won at Newcastle earlier in the year. She got beaten by Queen of Pride, who I think is also in the race, isn't she? Here. But I wonder if the ground was just a little bit too quick for her that day. Obviously came back out and won in Germany on soft ground last time. She likes soft ground. She's going to have her conditions. I think she'll run really well, Tiffany. The one that I must throw out there at a ridiculous price as well is T-Theme, right? That's a mad price. What price is that?
100-1.
Oh, that's a nuts price, that is. I mean, that also has got a chance. It's been every Kills will probably tip it. He tips it every time. But I mean, it's not got bad form. When it won in France impressively in soft ground at Clairefontaine, it was very, very impressive, and has seemed to come out and compete in top races and not run poorly at all. I could easily see Fee making the frame at a ridiculous price, but yeah, for a win bet, Tiffany's the one, Sam.
Tiffany, yeah, I think Robbie Wilders was looking forward to this horse running in this race as well. But yeah, fascinating race. Let us know down in the comments if you're taking on this favourite, Ed.
Sam, sorry, I should have mentioned that we are going to be industry best price on this race. So from 9 o'clock on Saturday, you will get the best price if you're having a bet in this race with Unibet.
Yeah, last 4 or 5 weeks we've been promoting that offer there, but there is a race each week on Saturday that Unibet will be best price in. It is going to be the Fillies and Mare Stakes at Ascot from 9 a.m. Saturday morning. On to the mile race then, gents, the 3:15, which is the Queen Elizabeth II Stakes. Another Group 1 here, which sees Charyn top in the market at Unibet at 11-8. Tamfana really well supported, 7-2 now for David Manuzio and Ossie Murphy. Factor Cheval, one of the French raiders, 15-2. Prague supplemented for the race, Dylan Cunha. I'd love to see his horse win for Dylan, 8-1. Metropolitan, the other French raider, 8-1. 17-2 about Henry Longfellow for Aidan O'Brien. Double figures about the rest of the field here. Charyn's had a hell of a long season for a Group 1 horse. Fascinated to see whether he can go and win this one here. It's never a strong Group 1. Obviously, last year this was won by Big Rock. Factor Cheval was back in second, but even he was well clear of the field. What did we make of this race, Graeme Rodway? Do we take on this favourite after a long season on soft ground?
I think you've got to. He's short price, isn't he? And yes, I mean, if he turns up and shows his form, he'll win, won't he? His best form, and he likes soft ground. But yeah, he's had a long season that started back in March, and it's October now. So I like to back horses that go, like Ed said, I think about Fillies, but I like in general to back horses that are really showing their best form at this time of year, rather than Charyn, who was showing his best back in June or July. It's hard to believe that he's still going to be able to churn out another PB. He might be able to, but not for me at the odds. What do I like in this? I like, Couture is the one that I like, okay. Sam. He was behind Charyn in the Lac de Marois. And he was behind Metropolitan in that race as well. But, I mean, that was only his 5th run. So he's quite lightly raced, and he wasn't beaten that far. And he's unbeaten at the track, isn't he? He's 2 from 2 at the track, 1 over course and distance when he beat Docklands, who was also chased home Charyn in the Queen Anne. So at the prices, for me, Couture will be the one in my attempt to follow up our famous win from last year on Big Rock, Sam.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm going to be there. It's not just the fact that I love French horses, but I do think they've both got a chance now. I'm probably going to Dutch the 2 on a win bet here. Factor Cheval, Metropolitan. Factor Cheval was second in this race last year, just a neck in front of Tahira. But if you take Tahira out of the race, then they absolutely romped the field that day, and he'll love the soft ground that he's going to return to here. I know
Sam, Fresh Air was second last year. Fresh Air was second.
That was true. Yeah, absolutely.
Forget that, Big Rock.
Factor Cheval, he get his soft ground here. I mean, he didn't get it in the Sussex Stakes, did he? But I think he'll absolutely love returning to soft ground. And Metropolitan, that could be back on really soft ground here after the win in the Poule d'Essai de Poulain, the French 2000 Guineas at the start of the season. I'd be intrigued to see how he get on. I think they've been in search of this soft ground once again over a mile. So I'll be Dutching the 2 Frenchies in this race here. Tom Park, what did you make of this?
Yeah, I'm going to take a chance on Henry Longfellow, a little bit reluctantly, because I'm a little bit worried that he's gone backwards rather than forwards. But there is an awful lot of talent there. And I just wonder if maybe this slower ground is probably what he wants. He's ran 2 belters on quick ground, don't get me wrong. But I thought his performance in France last time, that was a bit of a muddling race, wasn't it? Now, Charyn, on that evidence, he's got Henry Longfellow's measure. But I just think there's a big price discrepancy between the two for what was a length or 2. You can get double figure price at the moment. I think that's a big old price about what is a very talented 3-year-old. And I just wonder if the Aidan O'Brien camp would have perhaps put this lad away for next season if they didn't think he had something else to kind of show. So it's a little bit reluctant. I won't be going mad on it, but I'll be taking an each way chance on Henry Longfellow. I'd be hopeful that he'll at least make the frame.
Okay, yeah, 3-year-olds have got an excellent record in this race. The last 3 winners of this race are actually 3 years old. So they do have a brilliant record. Ed Nicholson, support has come for Trey. He's actually been quite solid anti-post. He's remained a similar price to this. The one that's coming for support, I'd imagine, from the traders is Tamfana. Is that the case?
Yeah, Tamfana has been much bigger than this during the week. 6, 7. I think when she came back at Sandown, which is my winning nap actually that day, she was still 20-1, 25-1 for this race. So this race has always been on the agenda. And I said earlier on, there's one thing I've learned in racing over the years is to back in-form horses in the autumn and fillies. Well, there's one thing better than that: in-form fillies that are 3 years of age in the autumn. And this Tamfana has improved again, I think, in the last few weeks. That Sun Chariot victory, if you get a chance to go onto the Excellent Racing Post website, just have a look how easy that was. I mean, she led and she quickened from the front, which sometimes doesn't look that impressive because you're not going past horses. But Colin King didn't move. The other jocks were, and just went clear. So I think Tamfana's in the form of her life. She likes the ground. She can even win on heavier, actually. And she's got stamina. I mean, she's run over distances further than this mile, but this looks her distance at a fast run 1 mile race. I thought Charyn was definitely short in the betting and worth taking on. I mean, admirable sort, more than admirable, very good sort. Group 1 form everywhere, but she isn't rated that. He isn't that rated that highly above the others. There's not much in the BHA ratings ahead of other horses like Henry Longfellow, Tamfana herself. So I just thought 6-4, 5-4 was actually quite a short price. So I started from the remit of wanting to take Charyn on, and other reasons such as Graham's mentioned, has been on for a long time, started running on 23rd of March. And Tamfana is the filly in form, and she's shown her best form of late on this sort of ground in Grade 1. So yeah, that's my quite strong selection actually.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think well, we're all taking on the favourite here, Charyn, and a lot of people go through Charyn's form and think soft ground, no worries, especially look at this year. But that Doncaster Mile one at the start of the season wasn't the strongest of races, really. And that race at Longchamp last time, I know Tribalist, got an excellent ride from the front under Barcelona, but I just question him on this ground, whether he's that good. I mean, he bombed out in the Sussex last year on soft ground. I'm not sure he's ideally suited to it. It just depends how soft it gets on the day.
Well, I think the other thing is the form of that race. I mean, I don't think it's too bad on soft going, but the other horses in that race weren't suited by the soft. So there were horses in that race that, like Notable Speech, who bombed out. So the form looks good, albeit second. But I don't think the other horses many of the other horses kind of had their ground. So because I remember us previewing it and we didn't think it was going to be as soft as that. I remember us going through it. And I should say also we're super boosting this race. Our offer of the super boost on this Group 1.
Super boost in the QE2 then from Unibet. The 355 is the highlight on the card. Everyone's been looking forward to this. The Kipco Champion Stakes. 1 mile, 2 furlongs, and the clash between the top two in the market here is Economics and Calandagan. Economics currently 11-8, just shading it away from Calandagan, who's 6-4. Los Angeles is 13-2. Erosine is 10-1. King's Gambit 16-1, and Matt 25-1, 33-1, and bigger. The rest of the field. This has been well promoted. Really glad to see this because this is the big clash of the day. I've been going around the office this afternoon saying who are you siding with, and it's one or the other. But a lot of people are mentioning Calandagan, who seems to be the one that's getting back out of the two. Tom Park, to you first. Economics, Calandagan, or will they both be beaten?
I think it's out the two of them. Yeah. And I am in Team Economics. I was really, really impressed with his win in the Irish Champion Stakes. I thought it was a performance of so much class. August Rodin was on a good day. And when August Rodin's on a good day, he's pretty much unbeatable. And he came and fired his shot. And Economics, in a pretty cosy fashion, saw him off quite comfortably for a neck margin. I thought there was still plenty under the bonnet. He might need it. I think Calandagan is a very, very, very good horse, and I can understand Connections kind of saying that they even want another shot at City of Troy. They're probably not going to get that, but that was a really good run in the Juddmonte where things didn't quite go his way. But I just think Economics is the real deal. And I'm really excited for this race. It's going to be a belter. I am team economics, but I'm very much looking forward to the race, more so than looking forward to having a bet on it. I'm really looking forward to just seeing all these go at it because it's a really good race.
It's a cracker. It really is. Graeme Rodway, team economics, team Calandagan, team something else.
Yeah, there's been some fantastic performances in this race down the years, hasn't there, Sam? Likes of Bosra Sham, I always remember, one of my old favourites, scooting up at Newmarket, New Approach, Frankel, of course, Cracksman. And I think we're going to see another special performance this time. But I am Team Calandagan. I do not fancy economics at all. I think Calandagan will make short work of him here. I was very impressed with Calandagan when he won at the track over a mile and a half. I mean, he blew them away on ground that I think would have been quicker than he is absolutely ideal for him. And then, of course, last time out, it was a massive run to finish second to City of Troy. I mean, everything that finished in the first 4 or 5 raced prominently. Calandagan was the only one to get into the race from off the pace. He came from miles back. He ran a ridiculously fast, it was second last furlong, 10 odd seconds. And he was the only horse to go with City of Troy, who we know is the outstanding 3-year-old of the generation. He's proven that the track, the ground will be perfect for him. Like all French horses, he goes through testing conditions with no concerns. And I think that we're going to see something special, Sam, but not from economics. Team Calandagan for me, Sam.
Okay, 1-1 then. 1-1 currently. 1 vote for economics, 1 vote for Calandagan. I'll just let you know, again, Iracine is a big price in here. The other French horse, Marie Vallon's on this horse, 7-year-old. I actually wish they'd come here last year. I'd have given this horse a massive chance as a 6-year-old. Whether this horse is good enough as a 7-year-old, I'm not sure. But if you ask between the top 2, I will be team Calandagan. I agree with everything Graeme Rodway said. I think economics could be he's a very good horse, don't get me wrong, but I think he could be really exciting for next year. I'm looking forward to him next year, but I just think on this occasion, on this soft ground, Calandagan will be the one. Ed Nicholson, are you going to tie the vote at 2-2, or are you going to make it 3-1 to team Calandagan?
I think Calandagan is the better horse. On what we've seen, and that's backed up by not just the official ratings, but more importantly, RPR ratings. They've got them £3 higher. I mean, Calandagan's 134 and Economics 131, but that's not surprising because Economics has only had 5 runs. Economics hadn't even run at this time last year, so you realise that he is still a raw baby, only running top group company last time out. And if you remember, I certainly thought he was too short at 5-4, and he went off 7-4. But there were reasons to oppose him last time, I thought. And I was surprised, not that he won, but also the way he won. Because he could have, I mean, the horses were with him. Aidan O'Brien tried to get him beat by all sorts of different horses running from the front, horses coming on the outside. And he battled back and he showed a lot of heart as well as a lot of ability. So I do love economics, but I just think that run at York was extraordinary. I mean, if you look at it again, he did come from the back and nothing else did. But City of Troy, obviously, everyone has been saying what a great ride it was by Ryan Moore. And that's how he had the run of the race. He went to the front, he got that strip of ground, and he went clear. And then Calandagan had to come on the outside, make up the ground. And if you watch it again, which I've done 3 times today, you look at the daylight that Calandagan puts between himself and the third horse. It's quite extraordinary. I think he'd be better this time, run if he could race a little bit more handier. And these 2 are 2 of the top horses in the world. According to the Longines ratings, they're the 2nd and 5th top horses in the world. The 2nd and 3rd on turf behind City of Troy. So we are really going to be looking at 2 of the most exciting horses on the planet on Saturday. And I'm just really hoping it doesn't disappoint because I can see the race being set up when they both go away from the pack with a furlong to go. Nip and tuck, bobbing away, and then suddenly Calandagan just gets ahead in the final strides and wins. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this race, and it's fantastic that we've got such good horses competing. And I don't think any other horse has got a chance, to be honest. They're going to have to improve £6.
Okay, we'll wait and find out. But it's France 3, England 1, hopefully under our new German manager Thomas Tuchel. That's not a result we'll be seeing at the World Cup in a couple of years' time. Let's go on to the big handicap on the card. It's the Balmoral Handicap at 4 35. This is always a great race. I love having this race in the card because it gives you the chance to solve a really, really difficult puzzle and a really good handicap. Looking at the market currently with Unibet, then we have Thunder Run. Ryan Moore taking the ride here at 11-2 of Unibet. Kirat is 13-2. Days of Our Lives is 7-1. State Actor also 7-1. Holloway Boy, Carry the One, and Latam 10-1. 11-1 about El Najam, and 12-1 and Bigger the rest. Like I say, I absolutely love having this race at the back end of the card. Trying to solve the puzzle, and Graeme Rodway, you're going to try and solve it first. Who wins the Balmoral?
If he gets in, Kirat will win this race, surely. I mean, he needs one to come out. He's the first reserve, but he's favourite for the race. And I think that if he gets in, he's the bet of the whole day. He was a massive eye catcher. Over the track last time in the Challenge Cup when he finished second. I mean, he was going nowhere with about 3 furlongs to run, being pumped along behind by Hector Crouch, and then he took off inside the final furlong. Absolutely flew home to take second. He's racing off the same mark, going up to a mile with Beckett absolutely bombing, and Beckett, when he sticks cheap pieces on, has got a great record too. And he's doing just that with Kirat. Don't forget the get-out stakes. I mean, I really fancy this Kirat. You just need one to come out, though, Sam. Which one's going to come out to let him get in? Has Beckett got one in there that he can pull out? Come on, I need this horse to get in because he's going to win if he runs. So Kirat for me, but fingers crossed, please, someone give him a run.
Oh, blimey, a confident Graeme Rodway. I wonder what his nap will be at the end of the show. Keen on Kirat then in the Balmoral. Tom Park, you're keen on Kirat or not?
Kirat's got a chance, yeah. If he gets in, I think something will come out and he will get in. He's been well backed anyway. Yeah. I really like Thunder Run here. I think the form of the Clipper Logistics at York is very, very strong. I've mentioned on here before that I'm a big fan of these York handicaps and that the form can usually be trusted. Holloway Boy has, since Frank that form, won a listed race or a Group 3 it was at Haydock on his next start. And I just think that the form is very strong, and Thunder Run, he's put up £4 for that, and I can just imagine that Carl Burke was stunned that he only got £4 and has thought of this race straight away. He's kept him fresh for it. This is as valuable a handicap over that this kind of trip as there is, and I just think that he'll have been straight away £4. I mean, just to put in context, Holloway Boy is £6 higher now than when he was well beaten in the third. Mm-hmm. I think he's still really well handicapped. Ryan Moore was booked up early this week. And I think he's got a right chance. I know there can be a draw bias at Ascot, and he's drawn high. I can't remember if it's when it's wet, whether it's usually high or low. I think it's high. But either way, I don't mind being on one side or the other because there is sometimes a kind of bias one way or the other. He's 21. I think he's got a great chance. Very, very keen on Thunder Run.
Yeah, there's so much money coming for Thunder Run. I didn't even know that this horse had gone into an 11-2 favourite with Unibet. Ed, the traders reporting plenty of money for this horse.
Yeah, plenty of money for Thunder Run. Kirat as well. It's an ultra-competitive handicap at Ascot, isn't it? Plenty of runners, 20, maybe less, if Graeme hopefully gets one or two coming out. But Kirat's got definite chances, and I can see why he's all in with that one. But I'm just going to take a real punt with a horse that we've spoken about before in this programme. And I actually spoke to the breeder and the owner of this horse, and I'll tell you what they said in a minute. But first of all, we're extra 2 places here. Mm-hmm. So we're going 6 places on this race. And the horse that I kind of just thought I'd give a little squeak to is Cicero's Gift. That's quite big odds. I love soft ground. He's only competed one handicap in his life, and that was at Sandown on soft ground when he was held up and he came from behind, which I think is significant at Ascot. Statistically, horses that are held up over the mile, 7 furlongs, 6 furlongs handicaps do well. And he's had a lot of problems in his life. He's had bruising to all four of his feet. So they have to be quite careful with him. That's why they kind of had a soft ground campaign at the back end of this season. They ran at Longchamp in the Daniel Wildenstein. Didn't do particularly well, but all his races have been Group 1, Group 2. I mean, he ran at St James's Palace Stakes, Group 1, Group 2, Group 3. And then when he was dropped to a handicap company for the first and only time, he sleuthed up at Sounder on wrong ground as well. So this is going to be his ground. It's an ultra competitive race. It's just really a punt. I spoke to the owners at Nicky Henderson's open day, and they told me that they were going to run at Longchamp, and then if he came out of the race, target a big back end handicap. So this has obviously been the plan. They were hoping to win, obviously, in Longchamp, but he didn't. But he does need the soft ground. But he's a very classy horse, and they're hoping they can get another win for him. But this was an early closing race, wasn't it? Because he can run. He's off 108. But he's only on 107 anyway, so he's £1 worse off with the handicap weight. So that's not the greatest thing, but he's a sporting each way choice at big odds.
So remember, extra places in that Balmoral Handicap, 2 extra places with Unibet. Head to unibet.co.uk to get hold of those. And that's it for our 6-race preview on Champions Day. Let us know down in the comments who you really fancy from Ascot on Saturday. We'll be back shortly after this advert with our best bets for the weekend.
Want betting on the horses to be anything but flat? With an app that impresses every time out. You're on. Want to watch live streaming of races in the UK, Ireland and around the globe? And get a chance to win even bigger with 3 Uniboosts every day on any horses you want. Unibet. You're on.
Welcome back to the final part of this week's Racing Postcast, brought to you by the Racing Post, sponsored by Unibet. It's Sam Hart, Graeme Rodway, Tom Park and Ed Nicholson, now giving you our best bets for the weekend. I'll kick things off, gentlemen, on my last show here, and I'm going to go with the French raider in the Champions Stakes. I'm going to take Calandagan, who was ultra impressive behind City of Troy in that Jumpman International. We're absolutely going to relish this soft ground on Saturday. It's going to be a tough race. Really excited, like Tom Park said earlier in the show, to watch this race, but I think Calandagan is going to win this year's Champions Stakes. Graeme Rodway, your best bet, please.
Fingers crossed it gets in, Sam. I'm with QEII in the Balmoral, the last of 4:35 at Ascot. Just need one to come out, and then we're on the winner.
Absolutely. QEII hopefully gets into that Balmoral Handicap. Tom Park, your best bet, please.
Yeah, I'm going to take one at a big price because I think elite status in the 155 champion sprint is a massive price at 20-1. So I'm going to take a chance on elite status each way is my nap.
Elite status for Tom Park. And Ed Nicholson, to finish things off, who is your nap for Saturday?
Yeah, 3-year-old filly in form at this time of year is going to be Tam Farner in the QE2 Group 1 to do it for Ashee Murphy.
Perfect. There we go. Naps on screen now. Remember, these will be boosted by Unibet at the time of this podcast and video uploads. Head to unibet.co.uk to get hold of those there. Before I give a full outro, I'll just find out what everyone's up to this weekend. And I'll say my thank yous after that. But Graeme Rodway, what are the plans this weekend? Are there any races to look out for other than Ascot?
Yeah, I mean, there's a good meeting over jumps on Sunday, isn't there, at Kempton? It's the listed hurdle that the new one used to always running, and it's interesting that Dan Skelton's running Katira there, isn't he? I could see him. He's making a right push for the title this year, isn't he, Dan Skelton? And I reckon he'll have Katira nicely wound up there, especially with Nicholls looking to struggle, but at the moment. But yeah, I mean, the weekend. Looking forward to a quiet one actually. Sam got football with the youngsters on Saturday morning as normal, and then a nice quiet Sunday, probably watching the Premier League. So yeah, I need the rest, I think, Sam. But hopefully, QEII will provide us with some nice funds to enjoy a nice Sunday dinner with.
Absolutely, yeah. Look forward to the Premier League returning this weekend. But QEII is going to be the bet. Hopefully, he gets into that battle. I really do pray for you there, Graeme Rodway. Tom Park, your plans this weekend? Probably just making sure the big jump offs as perfect as it can be.
Yeah, hopefully get a chance to watch the race on Saturday because it can be a bit of a slog, but we're in good shape for the big jump off. So yeah, I'll be finished with that on Sunday, and yeah, I think my wife is wanting to decorate the hall. So I might just keep my head stuck in the big jump off, to be honest. So yeah, I don't think there'll be anything fun going on this weekend, but hopefully there'll be some fun with some bets on the racing at Ascot. Very much looking forward to that.
Absolutely, yeah. Decorating on a weekend. That sounds like a Keith Melrose outro to these postcasts. He loves to decorate on the weekends. And Ed Nicholson, your plans? Are you at Kempton at all this weekend?
Yeah. I'm going to watch the racing from Ascot. I don't think I'm going to go, although I don't live far away. Then I've got a wedding reception to go to in the evening. I haven't been to a wedding reception for years. So I wonder what's going to happen there. And then on Sunday, I'm going to go to Kempton to that good meeting that Graham's referred to. And I'm looking forward to that listed race as well. Last year's winner is in it, Ruban. But I fancy Nicky Henderson's first street. He's got a big pull at the weights. He finished third last year to Ruban. So it's a good race. So, and it's a good meeting. What about you, Sam? Your final weekend here doing the podcast, are you going to celebrate or commiserate?
Yeah, I'll be there at Ascot. I've got a weekend with some friends and a few guys from the office on Friday and Saturday. I'll be heading to Ascot. Really looking forward to that. I suppose I should say a few thank yous for this show because I've absolutely loved doing it. I mean, when I first joined the Racing Post 2.5 years ago, this became my show. It's just an audio podcast at the time, and we've now turned it into a growing success on YouTube. I've got so many thank yous, like I say, to so many people at the Racing Post for this. The first one has to go to Bruce Millington, who was the host of this show for 8+ years, and he had the confidence to give me this role in hosting the show. And he's now left the Racing Post, and he's watching and listening every week. Don't worry, he provides me feedback most weeks on this show. But I have to say a massive thank you to him. A big thanks to G-Rod, you and the tipping team. It's been a pleasure, mate.
Yeah, it's been great fun, Sam. It won't be quite the same without you, I must admit. But no doubt you're on to bigger and better things. So I think I probably echo what Ed and Tom Parker are going to say. But I think we all wish you the best of luck and look forward to seeing you on the course again soon.
Absolutely, yeah. Big thanks to all the talent around the tipping team as well. Parky, DJ, Matt Gardner, Maddie Plough, Johnny Pearson. There's so many that I could name who have appeared in this show. Tom Parker, I've enjoyed doing these shows with you. I know you come out your busy schedule to do these, but thanks very much.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I wish you all the best. And we'll you're not far from me now, getting closer. So I'm sure we'll hit it up in Dirty Leeds at some point.
Moving up to Yorkshire, absolutely look forward to catching up then. And look, a big thank you to the sponsor of the show. We had many during the time of this show originally started 9+ years ago. But Ed, I've got to say a massive thank you. Since this show's gone video, Unibet have taken this on board, and like I say, it's been a growing success and it's been a pleasure doing it.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. We always look forward to linking in, especially when things go wrong like they did at the beginning of this show, and then you turn it all around because you've got such expertise. We just let you get on with it, and we talk absolute rubbish for 5 minutes. So, yeah, we're going to miss you a lot, Sam, but we'll still see you. We've got you leaving, dude, so we'll have a few beers anyway. And all the very best for you in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I'll be staying in touch with many people, including everyone on this show here. And a huge thank you to the audience. I've got to say, like I say, listening on and watching on, a big thanks to you guys. If you weren't watching and these views weren't increasing every week, we wouldn't be doing this. So I have to say a massive thank you to these, and I'll be tuning in every week still to watch the show. And the new host of the show from next week for the jump season will be James Stevens. I'm sure he's going to do an absolutely cracking job. James has stepped in many a time to do this show here, but he'll be absolutely great. The man who knows jumps racing better than most people in the Racing Post office. He absolutely loves the game, so he'll do an absolutely cracking job. But big thanks as always. And James Stevens, will see you next week. Thanks for watching.